Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I am Katie from Mitza Creek Farm, and today is day 2 of our plant sale. We were open yesterday from 3 to 6, just as like a soft opening. I didn't do a lot of Facebook stuff. I created a Facebook event, but I didn't do a lot of promoting it because I knew that we were going to be super busy up to it, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a crazy, exhausting thing. But we were pretty busy throughout the whole stretch, so that was good too. It was just the right kind of balance. Aren't my tulips and my daffodils just gorgeous? The daffodils are almost done, and the tulips are just popping up, so we have lots of color there. I love it. But let's go show you what is going on inside the high tunnel for the plant sale. So I have lots of nice signs, which is wonderful, helps people. And then, oop, my hose is in the way. This is what we have going on. We just have this area set up. People don't go in the back, or they shouldn't be going in the back. And I have most of the food plants on the right, and then perennials, herbs, and those are all annual flowers: zinnias, cosmos, and marigolds. So these are all the varieties of tomatoes that we have, and they're kind of set up in order of size from what I remember being. So the biggest are on the right, and then the cherries are on the left. Once we got to the point where I was trying to figure out where to fit the spoon tomatoes, I already had sun gold, and there's a bunch of those, so they're not exactly, the cherries aren't in order, but slicers, and then these are more smaller snacking ones, and then the cherries are that way. So these I need to write new tags for. These got left out down here in the high tunnel, and they're really brittle. And so I need to make new tags, but these are all the melons. So we have honeydew, cantaloupe, and watermelon here. This is an order that is going out today. This is kind of like my boxing and checkout stand, my little garden table. Here's my coffee and my breakfast. This is where I keep my cash box, the credit card reader, my chair. And then over here we have zinnias. So these are polar bear. These are the queen lime red. That one has two. That one has a giant dahlia zinnia in it. These are the Peruviana zinnias. These are really cool. Gypsy sunshine, marigolds, orange flame dwarf, seashell cosmos, the colossus bicolor marigolds, cilantro. These are my purple basils. These ones are really cool. They're like variegated purple. And then just plain, I think this is Eleonora basil. Baby's breath. So this starts my perennials, and this is what we have left. That's crazy. So baby's breath, dianthus, the green twister perennial, Cheyenne spirit. This is a delphinium, so those get like long spikes. Poppies, we have two different varieties of poppies, and then a lupine. Now, if you notice, everything for the perennials are hardy for our zone. We're zone 3B, so everything here is either zone 2 or 3. I did that because I absolutely hate going to the garden center and buying something and then finding out that it is not hardy for our zone. So I have a blackberry bush in here. So I made sure that everything that we have in here is hardy for our zone, so that it was very important to me. So one thing I wanted to show you is how we display the varieties. Everything has a tag, and these are just cheap plastic photo frames, and these are just pictures I created in Photoshop. I took a picture of each tomato or each plant, and then put the name on top and just a little bit about them if I remembered anything about them, like the peppers. The bell peppers I really didn't do anything on because we have 3 varieties. One is green, one is turns to yellow, and one turns to red. And I believe most people, they're just looking for what the color it is, or they're just looking for a bell pepper. So for the tomatoes, I know that's a big deal for a lot of people. So this is how we display. And then when I'm watering, they don't get wet. I try to avoid them, but it does have that protection on them in case they do get wet, or if like it gets really humid in here or something like that. This is our 4th annual plant sale. We started this in 2020 when everything had shut down and people couldn't get seeds, they couldn't get dirt, they couldn't get food, all of that stuff. And I had already gotten all of my seeds, all of my dirt. Actually, we didn't have enough dirt because I ended up planting all of my seeds, like all of them I planted. And I offered on Facebook that I had an abundance and I wanted to make sure that people had what they needed. And so what we did is we did like people, I believe I did an online order, or maybe I did a Google form, and people just filled out what they wanted, and we would leave them down at our roadside stand. It's kind of funny looking back on it because we used, for the containers, we used red Solo cups if we had them. The kids were getting lunches sent home from school, and so we had milk cartons, and so a lot of the plants were in milk cartons, which ended up working really well. We poked holes in the bottom, and those worked really well. And so that was our first year. Our second year, we had it in person down here at the Stone Coop out in front. We also did pre-orders online too. Everybody who does a pre-order, they get theirs set aside, they get the best looking plants, all of that. They're guaranteed to not run out because I pull the plants before we sell to other people. So we had that out in front of the Stone Coop, and it was super windy. It was a success, but it was super windy. We were picking plants up all day, and it was a 2-day long event. Last year we only did online sales because of Sydney's graduation. We had her party in here, and I couldn't do all of this. There's no way I couldn't do all the extra tomatoes. We really cut back last year in anticipation of that, and our growing space was a lot smaller because we did let this area rest after her party last year. So now this year is our first, like, we did pre-orders online on our website. We had about 15 or 20 of those prepaid. They get set aside, they schedule a time to pick up, and I am here for that. Because of the weather being bad, there's a couple people who had to reschedule and I couldn't be here, so then I just left them in the roadside stand for them like we have done in previous years. But this is our first time being open here in the high tunnel, and we are doing yesterday and today. Yesterday was 2 to 6, today is 9 to noon, and we're doing it again next weekend for whatever doesn't sell out. We are opening again in about an hour, and hopefully it is a busy day and we get rid of lots of these plants. If not, I have to plant them all, which isn't a bad thing. It is not a bad thing, but I would love to sell lots of them. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.